And another one, and I'm sure you've talked about this one before. Sometimes it seems like Islam can be a little bit oppressive towards women. So for example, when we aren't allowed to be seen by men, we aren't allowed to talk to men, we aren't allowed to travel alone outside of our house unless we have permission or a guardian. Why are things like that put in place only for women?
Okay, let me just ask first one question, because you said Islam is like oppressive to women, and then you give few examples. You said talk to men, which obviously Islam doesn't say talk to men is haram, for example, right?
Like mahar.
Mahram, yes. So
Yeah.
excellent. So now you are saying it's a specific type of man. So we should not be then generalizing it to everyone. So if it's a specific type of men, there must be a reason. Okay, what is a non-mahram in the Islamic perspective? A non-mahram is, in the Islamic perspective, someone you can marry. That means that there is sexual tension that it can exist between you and the individual. Sexual attraction, all of these things can exist between you and the individual. So limiting the contact between these two individuals, because that person has a specific category. But for example, me speaking to my brother, my father, or something like this, or my grandfather, these are all men still, and I'm allowed to speak to them. This idea doesn't exist, and even the woman can dress, or she can have her hair, she can have out when she's speaking to her family members, male or non-male. So when you say, but you made the term, you said oppressive. So can you define what is oppression?
So to me, the idea of oppression is when someone is limited in what they are and aren't allowed to do.
Okay, but that is not the definition for oppression.
Okay.
Oppression is unjust treatment.
Okay.
So this is limitations, is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So but then you're oppressed by the country you're living in, then, because there's so many things you cannot do then. So all of the Western women are oppressed then, because Western women cannot drink and drive, for example. They're all oppressed.
Okay.
You get what I'm trying to say? So if we use the term oppression there, then you have to say that all Western women are oppressed. Wherever you live, wherever you are, there has to be certain limitations to the things that you can do and the things that you cannot do. Do you agree with me on this?
Okay.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the Islamic rules, depends on the rule that you ask. There is a reason. And I give you an example. You talked about, for example, being around non-mahram men. I explained to you the idea that these are two genders that will be attracted to one another. Prophet ﷺ, he said, when you're alone with a woman, the third person is Satan. So Satan tries to beautify the woman for the man, and also the woman in her heart sways for the man, is vice versa. It happens with both of them. When you talk about travel is when a woman will become in a place when she's alone. She doesn't have any protection. She doesn't have any. It's long distances. She'll be tired. She'll have most likely to sleep alone in a hotel or in a place. She needs protection. She needs someone to look after her, and she might need help in wherever she goes. So there is a lot of reasons I can give you, but the main thing is not these reasons, is the Creator commanded it. He knows the nature of a man, he knows the nature of a woman, and he knows what is beneficial for both parties. And people who are following these commands, they're following it because Allah commanded it. So none of them believe this is unjust treatment. They believe this is, when Muslim women follow these commands, they know this is from God, and they know that it's just. And most of them actually know the reason behind it. But many people, they still just want to follow their desires. But the thing is, you said, why not men? This is what you said, which is a very feministic way to think about it, which is natural for someone who lives in the West to be influenced by Western ideologies and Western ideas. But the question is the man the same as a woman?
No.
Okay, so if we are different psychologically, physically, and in every way, literally almost, even in the way that we think or perceive ideas or the way that we express ourselves, if we are different in all of these different aspects, then it would not make any sense for the treatment to be the same for a man and a woman. There has to be differences in the treatment, because they're not the same. They're different. So when Allah, what men, for example, are attracted to in women is, number one, is the physical looks of a woman. This is how men are created. And there are studies on this. This is the first thing that they're attracted to. But for a woman, is not the case. This is not what they put as number one on the list of their attraction when it comes to the man. So then how a woman can dress would be different from how a man can dress, because the attraction is not the same. It's not symmetrical. We're not attracted to the same things. So because we're different, the commands of Allah Azza wa Jal will be different. It will be optimal for the situation of the man and situation of the woman. So whatever command that is there for a man that is not for a woman, it is because it befits her nature as a woman, and it is the best command or option or situation that she can be in. And the same for a man. Like when Allah says to a man, you have to go, and no one complains about that. It says, man, you have to go work, you have to provide for your woman, you have to provide housing and clothing and everything for her. She doesn't need to participate when it comes to the financial aspects of the relationship. This is your responsibility. You have to protect her. If any danger, you're responsible for her. You are shepherd and you will be responsible for your flock. So if any danger takes place, you are the one responsible. You need to protect, even if you're going to lose your life in that fight. So these are things that Allah commands the man. And you don't see the men coming complaining, oh, why did Allah, this is oppressive. No one says that. We accept, okay, Allah told me I have to work. My life is going to be more difficult. No one is going to come and give me, mahr, marital gift, and then pay my rent and pay my food. No one is going to do that for me as a man. I have to go and work. And because I'm a man, these are the commands that I need to keep up with. Therefore, I follow because of I know this is what works for me as a man. Allah knows my nature. Allah knows the best option for me and what I should be doing and what I should be doing.
Okay, that makes sense. But I guess it's just more like evident as to how the women are treated differently. But I have another question.
No, I can't let you. I can't let you move on there, right? Because like you made a comment there. So can you tell me evident where? Which place?
Like I'm just and maybe it's because like I'm a girl, but I don't see as much men having to follow specific like rules or guidance or things like that.
Okay, have you been but you said how women are treated. You didn't say it about men. But have you been to a Muslim country?
No.
Okay. So how is it evident when you've not even been to one country?
I just mean like from what I've learned in Islam, like for example, they're allowed to go out alone. They don't need a guardian to travel, like stuff like that. Like
okay, let me ask you this question. When it comes to physicality, if I bring a 20-year-old woman and a 15-year-old boy and they fight, who's going to win?
I don't know.
Generally, in most cases, who's going to win?
I guess the guy.
Okay. Why is he going to win? Because he's got a physical nature that is God-given that the woman does not have. Mm-hmm. He's got muscle mass, more muscle mass, faster reaction speed, muscle tissues, and all of these things. So if they're not the same when it comes to the physicality and power and who can overcome the other, then one can be allowed to go out nighttime and he is able to protect himself and one would not be. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.